Hello, A Day with Caleb, and we are back on the channel talking or doing a new series, movie reviews. We've done movie reviews in the past. Usually we pair them up with like a pickups video, or we did the Top Gun Maverick one, and that officially will be the first one, but I didn't know that I would do like a series, so keep that in mind when you watch Top Gun Maverick. Uh, I wasn't planning on doing a series, but we're doing a series, and if you could see kind of my shirt, you might know what we're talking about today. It should need no introduction. We've talked numerous times about this film, and next review will be the sequel. Yes, we're talking about the 1999 The Mummy, and then next time we'll talk about Mummy Returns. I wish I had a Mummy Returns shirt. I just have the kind of the Mummy poster, and then I have this one. Oh, of course, being one of my favorite scenes in the film. So this comes off the heels, well, later down the line. Universal had the Universal Monster series of films, Dracula, Frankenstein, Mummy, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Wolfman, who was later on. But they had that group of characters, and they kind of had, you could argue, like the first, like if you think of like MCU or DCEU, they had like the first universe of films where they kind of all interacted with each other. In later films, think of like House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula, and then of course Abbott and Costello would join them later. But we're not that's the legacy, if you will. And then down the line in 1999, of course the Hammer films kind of redid The Mummy, but as far as Universal, they would remake The Mummy in 1999 with Stephen Sommers, and this film, if you watch the MegaCon video, the Q&A for Brendan Fraser, he kind of breaks down every genre that this movie is. It's a comedy, it's action, it's romance, it's drama, it's a little bit of horror. There's the romanticism of like the 30s and 40s with some like current tie-ins as well. So it's doing a lot of genres and a lot of like tones and different character arcs. So Stephen juggled quite a bit, and he also wrote the script as well, along with directing and filming, of course, The Mummy. But great cast, leading off with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. Just all the great cast choices they made on this film. I wish they would all do conventions. Obviously, Rachel may be more famous than the rest. Maybe she would not do conventions, but hopefully the rest do. Recently at Emerald City, Brendan was with Odette Fair, which I wish I could go on to meet him, but you can't go to a convention to meet one person unless it's Brendan Fraser. But I didn't go to MegaCon just to meet. I to meet Brendan, I went for others. He was the main draw. But I wish I could have gone and met Odette Fair. That would have been so cool. But the soundtrack as well, just a great soundtrack. I listen to the soundtrack almost every day. Work painting. I'll just do the whole track. I bought it when the day or the week it was released. So good. And I've talked about the theme park tie-in where we went to Horror Makeup Show. They had props from the first film. I think they had a set. I could be wrong. Somewhere in my mind, you know how your mind plays tricks. I think there was a set of like where Rachel was tied down to be I think that set was somewhere at Universal. I could be wrong. But then we went back, watched The Mummy by ourselves, our first like big scary movie, if you even think it's scary. There is scary elements to it. And then, of course, later on, doing the ride at, first Hollywood, and the Hollywood version is no good, no bueno. But the Orlando one, fantastic ride. They just refurbed it. So you have the horror, Universal Horror Monster Legacy, and there's some great shots kind of reminiscent of that with like the zombie horde. Then you have like religious tie-ins, and Jonathan quotes the Bible as each plague kind of comes onto the scene. And then Evie, probably the stronger of the two siblings, Jonathan does have a lot of heart, but Evie, she's the adventurer, the librarian, maybe more straight edge compared to Jonathan, smart, can read hieroglyphics. And then, of course, Rick O'Connell, who is a war man. Him and Benny, of course, went and fought together in Hamunaptra. So, kind of mysterious. He's in jail. You don't know why. He had a very good time, but we don't know why he's in there. He takes them, and Benny takes the American crew, and they're both vying to get the treasure or whatever's in there. And then, of course, Evie reads the book. No harm ever came from reading a book, if you recall. Chaos ensues. They awake Imhotep, and Imhotep, his sole goal and reason for being alive is to resurrect or bring back Anck-su-namun, and Evie is kind of like the vessel or like the way he can do that. And obviously Rick disagrees with that, so they team up with Odette Fair, who's like, his people are like the guardian or the people that watch over Imhotep to make sure nobody awakes him, but then they leave them for one night to have a chance to resurrect. That plot point is like a little sticky. Like that one, you might have thought better about that. But anyway, great film. I watch it more than I care to admit. Quote it daily almost. Especially like at work when we're about to go, I'll say, "Let's get this thing in gear, boy." And Josh used to despise that, but now I catch him quoting it too, which makes me proud, makes me happy. But there's a lot of quotable things. And the special effects, even in like the late 90s, early 2000s, that the sand Imhotep, that still holds up, and the Beatles, and then like the crusty Imhotep, where he's not fully human yet, that, still holds up too. So some great stuff in there, great action adventure, like genre bending movie. And anytime we go to a motel, usually The Mummy is playing. Not really The Mummy Returns, which is weird, but most times The Mummy is playing, and no matter what else is on, wherever point in the movie it is, I watch it from start that point to the finish. I just can't help it. Such a great film. So next week we'll pick up again with the sequel, Mummy Returns. Hope you're ready. Like, subscribe, share with a mummy lover. Until next time, obsess over the mummy and keep collecting.